The Generate FS screen is the main working area for financial statement generation. The user starts by selecting a year and a budget. Then they fill out some specific information relating to each of the Kiwipark model's unique notes, and then, at the click of a button, can generate a complete Kiwipark school financial statement. The tabs in the top row are mostly for validation, mapping checks, and setup decisions before final generation. There isn't much data entry here, it's more about review and control. This first tab, for instance, just contains a few options around error checking for the financial statement. The bottom row tabs are where note-specific numbers and disclosures are entered or refined. This is where custom school detail gets added into the final notes. The data entry is easy and contains built-in safeguards which ensure the numbers the user enters add correctly. The trial balance input tab is analogous to the first tab of the Kiwipark instruction spreadsheet and simply contains the trial balance data pulled from Xero. This tab ensures numbers balance and provides a place to review mapping at a per account level. This tab also allows the user to export a PDF of the trial balance input, which can be given to auditors or other stakeholders. The PDF is automatically formatted in Kiwipark style. The Trial Balance Conversion tab is analogous to the second tab of the Kiwipark instructions. It sums Xero account values based on mappings to calculate the rows of the Kiwipark financial statement notes. This tab provides an overview of your financial statement. This tab also allows the user to export a PDF of the trial balance conversion, which can be given to auditors or other stakeholders. This PDF is also automatically formatted in Kiwipark style. The Equity Categories tab lets the user group equity accounts into the place where they appear within the statement of net assets and equity. Retained earnings accounts contain equity generated by net positive revenue over expense. Contribution accounts are direct injections of cash from the ministry, and reserve accounts are special allocations of funds taken from other equity accounts. Like many of the other tabs, this tab contains checks that the numbers add correctly, which provides a safeguard against incorrect categorizing. The Equity Explanation Notes tab is a form where each reserve equity category can have an explanation entered. Filled out explanations then appear as notes at the end of the financial statement, indexed to the row they were entered for. The Cash Flow Breakdown tab is purely for verifying the cash flow statement and providing information to auditors. It allows the user to export individual breakdowns of the calculations that were used to calculate each final number. The cash flow breakdown is automatically formatted as an easy-to-understand PDF for the auditor's convenience. The Cash Flow Adjustments tab has an overview of the key numbers so the user can see any discrepancy between calculated cash flow and actual cash flow. Below this are 3 tables for entering manual adjustments to the cash flow statement, which can either be between categories within this year, or the user can change the year in which a cash flow movement is recorded. Manual adjustments are rare, but usually at least 1 or 2 will be required per school. The Mischecks tab is a set of targeted validations of the user's numbers specific to the Kiwipark model. It includes cash and cash equivalence checks, board fees reconciliation, and grant versus expense comparisons for specific categories, such as confirming that the use of land and buildings grant equals the expense row for use of land and buildings. This tab ensures crucial audited numbers are compliant. The Notes Management tab lets the user enable or disable notes and provides a warning if a note that it's recommended to include is not included, and vice versa. There's also a button to reset to recommended defaults. Recommended defaults are based on a mixture of the Kiwipark instructions and your school's specific circumstance. Notes can be previewed. The underlying HTML that generates notes can even be overridden where needed. If, for example, a school has a specific disclosure it needs to make, this is a useful feature. The user gets the software's generated HTML as a starting point, and it can be tweaked and added to as necessary, and previewed as changes are made. The Statement Previews tab is a simple list of statement sections which can be clicked to generate a preview, allowing the user to quickly review individual pages. These generate in milliseconds instead of the few seconds it can take to generate the full financial statement. The Accounting Policies tab is an expandable policy list where each policy can be reviewed, included or excluded, and even overridden. Many policies contain general guidance and also internal options of their own. There are many checkboxes which enable or disable certain disclosures and also some text entry fields. Checkboxes which are linked to certain disclosure have info tooltips which show the user the contents of the disclosure they show or hide. The user can preview the full statement of accounting policies in the top right corner here, and also preview individual policies within their individual forms. The Donations tab is a simple table for entering donations. The user inputs an amount, donor name, and purpose. The information is then used to populate text in the locally raised funds note. Similar to the Accounting Policies tab, the user can preview the locally raised funds note in the top right corner here. The PPE tab lets the user enter the extra numbers required by the PPE note, numbers that can't be fully calculated based on the Xero trial balance alone. This tab contains checks that the numbers add correctly and also features reset buttons that auto-calculate sensible starting values for the disposal and depreciation column. Similar to the previous tabs, the PPE note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Capital Works tab lets the user enter the extra numbers required by the Capital Works note, extra numbers that can't be fully calculated based on the Xero trial balance alone. It also features a reset button that can automatically calculate the payments column and receipts from MOE columns, provided they were separated out into separate accounts in Xero. If they weren't separated and the user just had a single account per project, these numbers will need to be manually entered. As with the other tabs, the Capital Works note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Related Party Transactions tab has form sections for entering integrated school paragraphs and related party transaction paragraphs. It also features quick creation of arm's length and non-arm's length templates. As with the other tabs, the Related Party Transactions note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Contingencies tab has controls for showing key standard paragraphs plus editable contingent liability text blocks used in the Contingencies note. As with the other tabs, the Contingencies note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Leases tab is a table for entering leases that appear in the Commitments note. As with the other tabs, the Commitments note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Other Capital Commitments tab is a table for entering commitments that end up in the Commitments note. As with the other tabs, the Commitment note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Borrowings tab lets the user enter explanations for each loan the school has, and also write paragraphs explaining any contracts, using the Ministry template as a starting point. As with the other tabs, the borrowings note can be previewed in the top right corner here. The Reserve Transfers tab lets the user enter when and how money was transferred between the school's reserve accounts, which is shown in the Reserve Equity Transfers note. It contains checks that the numbers add correct, and, as with the other tabs, the Reserve Equity Transfers note can be previewed in the top right corner here.